Welcome, welcome to chair yoga. Though I am doing this in a chair, you can do it on a chair, on an ottoman, in your bed, wherever you feel comfortable. This is a slow, gentle, stretching flow. If you'd like, feel free to have a pillow or some cushion handy to put behind your back, to put underneath your knee in a couple of these poses, or anything else that you think you might need to be comfortable. If you have a yoga block, you can certainly use a yoga block. I'll show a couple of variations for some poses here and there with this, but also know that you don't have to have this. Just some things to keep in mind. Grab anything else that you think you might need. Some water, making sure that you're staying hydrated while you're working out, super important. If you want to dim your lights, if you want to click on some music, take your time. This is your space that you are so intentionally setting aside. So make it yours in whatever ways you need. When you're ready to begin, I'll invite you to take a comfortable seated position and to pull your back away from the back of your chair. So again, if you're seated on the edge of your bed or an ottoman or something like that, you might not have support for your back already, which is great. But if you are seated in a chair or on your couch, take a moment to lift your back away from the back of your couch or seat, just enough that the core muscles are engaged a little bit to keep us seated here. From here, we'll find our breath, moving the hands with the breath. Whenever you're ready to, inhale, flip palms up towards the sky. And wherever your inhale stops, flip hands around and exhale them back down. So moving with your breath, just noticing how long it takes for a deep breath to soak into the body, and noticing how long it takes for the breath to come all the way back out and empty. It may feel nice for eyes to follow the fingertips here. And we'll take another 3 to 4 rounds like this. The next time that your hands float back down to your body, I invite you to really take hold. So to kind of squeeze your legs. If you want to bring a hand to your chest or belly or one on each spot, you may. Give yourself a moment to sort of make contact, check in. Always, 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 yoga meets us where we're at. So even though you might do this video 100 times over the course of your life, it might feel a little different or look a little different each and every time. So allow yourself to make that promise with yourself. I also make that promise with my body every time I ask it to work out. So in any way that feels authentic to you, with hands somewhere on you, take a moment to promise to honor whatever this practice looks like today. I promise to honor whatever this practice looks like today. Seal that intention with another deep breath or two. And then we'll come back to moving the hands with the breath, starting with the right arm. I'm going to mirror you. So we'll inhale, lift the right arm up. Exhale, lean it over to the side, just however far feels good to reach. As we hold here, you can certainly bring your left hand out to the side to support you or hold on to the edge of your seat. We're going to take one giant circle through the right shoulder, each direction. So when you're ready to, take a great big sweep through your right arm. It might feel good to exhale it back over to the left. And then same motion, reversing that direction. When you're ready to, on an exhale, guide your right fingers back down. Maybe eyes follow the fingers again. And we'll do the same thing, other side. Big inhale, left arm reaches up. Exhales over. As you feel settled in here, great big circular stretch through the shoulder, however far it feels good to reach. And then that same thing, but in reverse. On an exhale, left fingers are guided back down to the body. And then we'll intentionally place hands here on the legs, the thighs, maybe reaching out forward a bit towards the knees. We're going to take some cat-cow stretches here. So inhaling to rock the belly and the chest forward. Shoulder blades might squeeze together a bit behind you. You're also welcome to lift your chin off the chest. So it's like we're making space in the front of the body for a deep breath in. And then we'll exhale and find the opposite motion. Again, a bit of a reverse. Chin tucks in, shoulder blades draw apart, back rounds. Continue to flow here with your breath. So inhaling to reach and stretch and lean forward. And then exhaling to round, to sort of curl up. We're going to hang out here for a little while, so it may feel good to even the breath out a bit. Thinking about making your inhales and exhales balance one another. However long it takes you to inhale and reach forward is how long it takes the body to exhale and round back. If you'd like, maybe close your eyes here for a couple rounds. Let yourself get lost in your breath, your body, your movement, the sensation of these stretches. We'll take another 4 or so rounds. Take your time to make this motion smaller and smaller or more and more subtle, and we'll kind of seesaw our way back to a neutral spine. When you land in a neutral spine, take a moment to kind of shake it out through your arms, through your shoulders. If you want to go ahead and take some neck circles or some head rolls here, you certainly may. Might feel good to take the shoulders back a couple times. Let yourself loosen. From here, we're going to inhale, sweep arms all the way up. Great big reach. Exhale and twist to the right. So your left hand comes towards your right leg, your right arm comes towards either your right hip, or it can wrap around your low back, or reach for the back of your chair, or reach for your bed behind you. We just want to double check that knees and hips are still for the most part facing forward. And this twist is generated not so much from the hip bones, but from the rib bones. So if you think about swiveling your ribs to the side, but keeping hips pointed forward, that's ideally what we're going for. All right, as you find your twist, again, take a moment to loosen. Take a moment to make this stretch just a little less serious. Like, you don't have to take yourself quite so seriously as we hold here for another 3 to 4 breaths. All right, getting serious about the core again. When you're ready to unwind, big inhale, sweep arms up, big reach, maybe lift the ribs up off the hips. With an exhale, we'll twist to the left. Same thing, take your time to set up your form. So legs might even be engaged a little bit to kind of keep the hips steady as the ribs and the shoulders twist around to the left. Let your hands anchor wherever they need to anchor to hold this stretch. And then with a breath or two, let go a little bit. Finding a way for your body to hang out in this shape that feels good in your body. And then giving yourself 4 or so breaths to enjoy that. When your breath is ready to engage strongly through the core, inhale, sweep both arms up. And exhale, bring hands either to the sides of the body or slightly behind the body. So if you want fingers to find each other or to clasp your knuckles or to reach for your thumb or something, you may. If that feels really intense across the shoulders, think about drawing your arms back like they're wings, but maybe your fingertips aren't necessarily going to touch behind the body. Either way, we're pulling the ears away from the shoulders and then leaning forward towards the knees, keeping the back really long and strong as we go. 3 deep breaths here. It can be a lot. Make sure you're exhaling fully and then still inhaling fully. And with another strong breath in, we'll inhale, sweep arms up. Exhale, press hands out into the sides. Might feel good to exhale through the mouth. We're gonna do this 2 more times. Flowing with your own breath, inhale, sweep arms up and forward. Exhale, push hands down. Maybe they come along the sides of the body. Maybe they meet behind the body. Lean forward like you're reaching through your collarbones first towards your toes. With another deep breath in, release the arms, sweep all the way up. Exhale, press hands out into the sides. One more round. Inhale to reach. Exhale to lean. Full breath or two here. And then with lots of strength, we inhale, reach up. Exhale, big press. And relax. Oh. Again, let yourself loosen a bit. It may feel good to roll through the shoulders, to roll through your wrists. Some days, something as simple as like shaking out through the hands is just what lets our body kind of let go. So give yourself a couple exploratory moments of release. As you're ready to, and there is no rush, I invite you to scoot your sit bones a little bit more towards the edge of whatever's supporting you, with the exception of a bed. So if you are kind of seated at the edge of your bed, sometimes beds kind of fold and collapse on us when we get to the edge. So go where you still feel supported in your body. But what's going to happen here is we're going to take one leg long and then the other. So we want to be able to kind of straighten out through the leg as much as possible. And it tends to be difficult to do if we're seated back. So readjust however you need. And then I invite you to take your right leg long. Take a couple breaths here. Point the toes, flex the feet. If you want to roll through your right ankle, you may. We're just kind of considering how length feels, especially down the back of that right leg today. Either with your foot flexed or your foot relaxed, I invite you to fold forward. The less bend there is in your right knee, the more intense the stretch. Likewise, you can intensify the stretch by flexing the foot, or you can take a little intensity out of the stretch by relaxing your foot. There's no right or wrong. Make it right for your body today. Also know that if as you fold forward, everything just feels kind of squished, you can move flesh out of the way. Whether it's the boobs, whether it's the belly, you can take your left knee out into the side, making space for a deeper forward fold. Reposition however you need for this to feel good. Like it's honoring your right leg, especially the back of the leg, the foot, and the glutes, the hip muscles, all the way up, maybe even into the low back. As we hold here, know that you can also rock side to side, or you can come back to some cat-cow movements. The stretch tends to change if our spine is rounded versus if our spine is really straight as we lean. Just like flexing the foot or relaxing the foot will change things. Bending the knee more or less will change things. I invite you to play around, make it right for you, and then give yourself 3 or so deep breaths to soak it all in, whatever this stretch is offering you today. When you're ready to slowly roll up, know that as you come back to this practice, this is one of those poses that you're welcome to use a pillow for. So if you ever want to take a little more time in that stretch, again, you have the power to pause me. please do it at any point you'd like. And you can also take a pillow between your belly and your thighs for a little bit of cushion and support. Some people also like to hug a pillow. It kind of lets the shoulders relax a little bit more as the body leans forward. You can also take this pillow and place it behind your back. If you need a little bit of pressure in your low back to feel stable folding forward, a pillow at the back of your chair can offer your low back that cushion and that pressure that sometimes makes it feel a little bit less like we're falling forward, a little more grounded and rooted as we fold. I know that's a lot of information, but we're doing the same thing other side. So when you're ready to release your right leg, do so. I like to give my right knee a couple bounces, lifting up through the right heel, boom, 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 boom. And then I'll switch sides. And again, reposition so that it's right for you. Use cushion if your body wants some cushion today. Bend your knee more or less. Flex the foot. Maybe spend the first couple of breaths rolling through the ankle. There's no rush here. You can take your time. You can prep your left leg. You can prep your space, your chair, your breath. And then when you're ready to, on an exhale, let yourself melt a bit deeper into this stretch. Still give yourself full exhales, making plenty of space for full inhales. 3 more breaths here, 3 more. When you are ready to, take your time to roll up out of this pose, or again, pause, hold a little longer. As you do step your left foot in, I invite you to kind of bounce through the knee or sort of pop up through the heel a couple times, helping release any tension that may have built up in the joints after holding such a stretch. From here, we'll take both legs out and wide a little bit. Again, this is where you might want to reposition how sit bones are on your seat. We're going to find gentle leans here side to side. You can do this by sweeping arms up and overhead just like we did before, but then swaying back and forth. You can also do this with arms down, focusing more on kind of leaning into the shoulder as though your shoulders are heavy, as opposed to shoulders being open and lifted. There's no right or wrong, just different ways to experience the stretch up the side of the body. I do invite you as you go, though, to avoid kind of collapsing into the supporting side. So think about keeping the spine really long, even on kind of that inner side as we lean back and forth. You'll probably feel that stretch a little bit differently in your low back. As we take a couple more rounds here, side to side, at your own perfect pace, know that you can also take the time to hold. So if one side is a little extra stiff today, hold on that side for a little extra time, or come back to that side, maybe end specifically where your body needs a little extra attention today. When you're ready to, take your time to come back up, neutral spine. And from here, we'll take one more forward fold with the legs out and wide. So keeping knees open, thinking about keeping the hips open. If you feel like you could open the feet, the legs, the hips a little bit more after stretching side to side, feel free to kind of walk your feet back. But also know that you don't have to. Most importantly, find your breath here again for a moment. And then moving with your own breath, take an inhale to sweep arms up, big reach. And then an exhale to fold forward. Hands can come towards the floor, can come towards the legs. If you are near a wall, you can lean against a wall here. Whatever you have handy. This can also be where having a block can be helpful. But again, there's no right or wrong, just lots of options. Please make sure that your body does feel supported, that the stretch feels good on your body. And if it doesn't, readjust. Maybe lift up and then exhale your way back in. Maybe bend your knees more. It's okay if your heels lift up off of the ground, so long as you feel that this shape is sustainable for another 4 to 6 breaths. Use the power of your feet and your legs to help roll you back up out of the stretch when you're ready to. One more time, as you lift up, roll the shoulders back, or in any other way, sort of loosen back up through the upper body. We'll come back to the breath here. So as you feel repositioned in your space, feel free to sort of scoot back towards the edge of your chair if you'd like. Maybe the back of a chair, if that is what you are using, is helping supporting that hard-working core. As you are ready to, inhale once again, arms will lift. Exhale, and hands come back down. The next time that you inhale, arms up, exhale, crisscross arms, and bring hands either towards opposite elbows or opposite shoulders. So you're sort of giving yourself a hug. From here, gently turn your chin to look over one shoulder and then the other. Take another round or two here. Again, spending more time on one side. If you notice one side is extra stiff today or just needs that stretch that much more today. And then take a moment to look down at the arms. Notice which arm landed on top of the other, because again, with an inhale, we'll sweep arms up, and exhale, bring the opposite arm on top, and reach for the elbows or the shoulders or the biceps or triceps. Give yourself a bit of a squeeze. And once again, add that gentle neck stretch, kind of like you're checking your blind spot. Doing this just 1 to 2 times each side. And honoring each side, spending as much time there as needed. When you're ready to take a moment to look at your arms, with an inhale, we'll lift arms up. Exhale, drop elbows out and wide. So we're moving into what's sometimes called cactus arms or goalpost arms. Going to do a little bit of a breath exercise here. It helps build a little bit of heat in the body, but then also prepares us to kind of slow the breath back down. And that switch of breath is often what helps us feel energized after a workout. So we'll inhale, bring elbows out and wide. It may feel good to kind of lift the chest or to lift your chin off your chest. So a little bit of a confident persona is the inhale here. And then as we exhale, we'll exhale forcefully through the mouth and drop the elbows in towards the ribs. Hands, palms, fingers still active and open. So it's this inhale to lift up. Exhale through the mouth. A couple rounds with your own breath. Your breath is gonna be different than mine. It's okay. Do 3 to 4 here. Inhale to lift. Exhale to drop. With your own breath. One more. Deep breath in. Exhale. And let yourself loosen. Take a moment here to dance your way back to a neutral spine, back to neutral arms, back to relaxed legs. Once more, bring hands to the body here, either to your legs, to your chest or belly, or one hand on each. Anywhere that feels authentic as a practice of you checking in. Take a moment to notice what feels differently than it did before. Notice just how full, how deep the breath can be. Acknowledge muscles that feel stretched. Acknowledge muscles that feel worked. Maybe notice where the body feels warmer than it did before. And again, in a way that feels authentic to you, take a moment to honor that, to come back to your own personal promise of honoring where your body is at today, how it feels in this moment. And once again, I'll invite you to take a breath or two to sort of seal that intention, to sort of bookend this part of your practice, this part of your day, with an awareness and with a respect for your body and all she's accomplished for you. Thank you for sharing this practice with me. Namaste.